Hello and welcome to Your New Jersey. I'm Lisa Marie Falbo. On today's show, we'll learn about how Kendra Scott at the Mall at Short Hills is giving back to the community in a colorful way. But first, we're going to be talking summer fun with the Executive Director of New Jersey Tourism, Jeff Vassar. Jeff, welcome to the show.
Great to be here. Can't wait to get on the beach.
You are telling me, I don't know how much of beach time I'm going to get this summer, as I was telling you off camera, but I will definitely try. So what's happening this summer?
Well, we're expecting, of course, beautiful weather. That first and foremost is what drives our economic impact, at the Jersey Shore. But we're looking at, first of all, from back in March, we saw, that the pace of rentals is extremely high this year. So we're expecting a lot of people to be on our beaches this summer, and not only be on our beaches, but to go beyond the beaches. One of the things we've really been trying to do this year is to promote those things that are outside of the beaches, because everybody knows the iconic Jersey Shore. What we're trying to do is to make everything else as iconic as the beaches themselves, because there are days when it may rain. There are days when it's cloudy or it's not a beach day, and people are wondering, well, what can we do? So what we're trying to do is to promote, the new attractions, the other things that you can do, the festivals. That's what's really going to make, a great summer for all of New Jersey, not just the four shore counties. But otherwise, we're seeing that staffing is better than it has been in COVID years. As everybody knows, things have been limited by the number of employees people have been able to get. Restaurants and stores have had to cut back on hours in previous years. But this summer, all anticipation is going to be that, everybody is going to be fully staffed, and there's going to be a lot for everybody to do.
That's great news all around. What's new in 2023 for summer festivals and attractions?
Well, first of all, New Jersey is known for its entertainment, and you're going to see a lot of new things at MetLife, concerts that are going to be coming into the stadium. They're really getting more and more involved in concerts, not just sporting events. Of course, at, in Homedale, you're going to see the Art Center. That's going to be busy. And there's a new festival at the Sea, which is down in Asbury Park. And that's a 2-day festival that's going to be later this summer, focusing on 25 bands over 2 days. Atlantic City is going to have more beach concerts. So that's going to be a really important tool to drive more people to the beaches. You've got, of course, the New Jersey Lottery Balloon Festival in July. That's going to be in Reddington. That's always one of the great things to do over the summer. And then Cape May County has a new Cape Square entertainment facility, which is going to bring in dining and bowling, golf simulation, things like that. People are trying to basically make more than just a beach destination. And of course, one of the greatest things we've had over the past couple of years has been the growth of wineries and breweries. And what we're finding is that our wineries and breweries are investing more in tasting rooms. They're investing more in their, outside patios and bringing music into those areas and better food quality. So the breweries and wineries are going to be a great place to, spend an afternoon if you don't want to be on the beach, and check those things out.
So we're a small but mighty state, obviously. How do you keep track of all of this going on?
It's great partnerships. We have 14 destination marketing organizations scattered around the state, and they're responsible for their particular areas. They're the ones that have the relationships with hotels and restaurants, and they're the people on the ground that are doing the specific marketing for their areas. And we work very closely with them, and they help us with reporting, the attractions that are in, visitation, spend. And then, of course, we have outside researchers that come in, and look at the number of visitors that come in and help us calculate the economic impact. So it's a lot of fun, because in the winter, there's certain things that are going on, and you can track that. We love, we love the winter, and telling people that, in a matter of just a couple of hours, you can, go from skiing on, a wonderful ski resort up at Mountain Creek, and then just getting in your car, and you can take a walk on the boardwalk, at the ocean. So, you're right. We are small and mighty, and the diversity of our attractions is really what separates us, and that's what makes us a very special state. And I'm pleased to report that we're just about at returning to pre-pandemic visitation numbers. So by next year, we should be exceeding the 2019 numbers, which was a record year for New Jersey tourism.
What was that number?
That was 116 million visitors that
Wow.
came in and spent $46 billion, throughout the state, and that makes us the fifth largest industry by employment, with about 400,000 employees, throughout the state that are dependent on tourism and travel. So we hope to, as I said, by next year, or the end of this year, actually, by 23, our projections are that we will exceed the 2019 numbers.
What is your story? How did you become involved with New Jersey tourism?
I grew up in the Atlantic City area, and after spending 20 years in New York City in the hotel, restaurant, and convention industry, I found myself uh, running the Atlantic City Convention and Visitors Authority for 12 years. At that time, we were focused on obviously conventions and leisure tourism, and and trying to diversify that destination, making it more than just a beach and a casino town. But then, when Governor Murphy came in and Secretary of State Way, I met with the secretary. We talked, and our visions aligned about, as I said, about making um, New Jersey tourism more than just about the shore. And the secretary is really great about, encouraging us to focus on culinary tourism. Let's talk about the great restaurants we have in this state. Let's talk about the wineries and breweries and distilleries and cider and meaderies. And let's talk about the arts and culture. So the secretary offered me the opportunity to be her director of tourism, and I couldn't ask for a more supportive um, boss that I've ever had in my life. So it's been a great 5-year run, and looking forward to several more years.
Finally, what is the perfect New Jersey day for the director of New Jersey tourism? What do you love to do?
I grew up on the beach, so for me, it's getting up, and going to one of our great outdoor restaurants to enjoy some local foods. Of course, I have to have some Taylor pork roll, as we call it in the southern half of the state, and then spending the day at the beach, and then coming off the beach and having some great seafood at another outdoor restaurant. So, and then in the evening, taking a stroll on the boardwalk, watching kids enjoying themselves and my kids too, on the rides, and taking them, to enjoy the boardwalk, and look at a lot of the multi-generational uh, experiences that I had, and so many of our visitors had. They come to the same beaches that they've been coming to for years because their parents and their grandparents and even great grandparents brought them to those beaches. So a lot of people are very tied into the personality of their beach, and their beach town. Again, because they'd been coming there since they were little kids that their grandparents brought, and that's what makes New Jersey so special. Is that we're a very family oriented destination, and we talk to our visitors all the time, and we find that people love coming here because they have such fond memories on when they were growing up, and we want to play to that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're so right about the beaches. I mean, we go to Wildwood every year. I've been going since I'm little, and now the next generation is going, and your identity totally is tied into that. The only thing I didn't understand, you said pork roll? What's that?
Touche.
I know. That's what makes New Jersey so great, right? It's almost like separate areas. We have our own language up here in the North versus the South, and it's always a battle, but it's all in good fun.
We have a game. We have a game on our website. We call it North versus South,
Oh,
and it has a whole list of those things that are the same items, but the folks up north call it one thing, the folks down south call it another thing, and then of course there's Central Jersey that is getting their voice heard lately too.
where can people find out more about you and the hottest places in the state?
Our website is the best place to go. Visit nj.org, and that will connect you to all kinds of food trails and wine trails and bee trails, as well as lists of all the festivals and entertainment, and of course links to all of the destinations around the state.
Jeff Vassar, thank you so much. Happy summer. We'll see you at the shore.
Look forward to it. Thanks.
Kendra Scott at the Mall at Short Hills gives back to the community in a fun and unique way. Here to tell us all about it is its philanthropic specialist, Donica Cook. Donica, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm not just rocking my Kendra Scott because you're on. I tend to wear this necklace a lot on camera in honor of my little peach, Liana, watching at home. But I mean, it's so easy to wear and I just love wearing it. And I thought you should know that.
Well, it looks great on you.
Well, thank you. And yours does as well. But we're not here to talk product. We're here to talk about really Kendra Scott's amazing mission, which is giving back to their local communities. Can you tell us why fundraising and philanthropy is so important to Kendra Scott?
Well, Kendra Scott, the corporation itself was founded on three basic principles: family, fashion, and philanthropy. So she started back in 2002 with Kendra Scott in a back bedroom designing jewelry and then selling door to door in Austin, Texas with her small baby and a baby Bjorn. Fast forward it to today, we have 136 freestanding stores. And with those stores, we do a tremendous amount of fundraising. To date, she's raised over $30 million for local charities and organizations. Our store in Short Hills just last year alone raised $31,000.
Those are amazing numbers. So let's talk about what you've done here locally. Last year, who were some of the organizations that you partnered with?
We have a lot of people that reach out to us for donations, and that can be found on the website, and they just register it through the Short Hills store. But when I found that all these donations are coming in, I decided to reach out to all of these organizations and talk about the Kendra Gives Back program. So the Kendra Gives Back program is something that runs for a 2-day period, and 20% of the sales, both in store and online, will go back to that special organization. So last year alone, we partnered with people from small little local organizations to bigger national organizations. But I found personally that we've made such a difference in our community in the Chatham, Short Hills, Millburn, West Orange, Mendham area, partnering with people from a memorial foundation to, the Chatham EMS, the local police, women's health and wellness organizations. For me, as a stay-at-home mom and a customer of Kendra Scott, I was blown away personally by the contributions that this company does. I had no idea that this philanthropic program was part of the Kendra Scott organization. Today, I can say that I feel blessed to be working for a company like this. There's none like it.
You engage with the organizations, you set up the fundraiser. What does the in-store event look like?
An in-store event I will create the marketing, and then I will structure the event to be reflective of that organization or charity. So for example, if the colors of your organization are red or pink or green, we'll try to have some bubbly champagne or pink lemonade, cupcakes, things like that. We always have our partners in store during the event for a period of time so they can actually speak to our customer base. We have a very, very, very loyal customer that we're finding are from the ages of 3 till they're getting married. We now have engagement rings in store. So our customers will come back, and they usually start with the classic Elisa necklace that you're wearing, and they start adding to this collection. So when we have these special events in store, we'll try to tailor the event to coordinate with the organization.
So, what do you have coming up this summer and fall?
So this is really interesting too. We have a lot of partners that, once September happens, between September and December, we have a special event, whether it's a Kendra Gives Back event or a color bar party. But what we're finding now in the springtime, a lot of these organizations will have their annual luncheon, their annual golf tournament, etc. And we are there to support them.
And I know that you want to talk about Let's Talk, Women's Health and Wellness, because I know you're doing something with them like spring, summer, and then again in the fall.
I really want to do this event for women. During the pandemic, most women took care of their families and neglected their own health. So this event was designed, it's an open forum with women's health and wellness. So we were there, Kendra Scott, we actually fundraised before to raise money for the event. And then we were there on site to actually sell product and contribute the 20% back to the organization again. So Let's Talk happened in October of last year. And on October 21st, we will be back at NJPAC with them supporting that organization for our second anniversary event. June, July, August gets very interesting for us. We tend to have a lot of fundraisers for schools then, PTO boards, local sports events. For example, the U12 baseball team that is heading to Cooperstown, golf tournaments.
We learned about your background. You're a mother of 4. God bless you. But obviously you love coming to work every day.
I work for the best company. I have the best staff, team members. I made the decision to go back to work with 3 boys in college and my youngest a sophomore at Seton Hall Prep. And like I said earlier, I was the Kendra Scott customer for the Short Hill store. I came in for a fundraiser for the Seton Hall Prep football team and the Del Barton baseball team and fell in love with the whole idea and concept.
Donica, where can people find out more about you? And if you're an organization watching this right now, how can they engage in having an event at the store?
So they can go on kendrascott.com and fill out a request for a Kendra Gives Back program or a donation. Pop into the store anytime. Any one of our team members can speak of our special events.
Donica, thank you so much for coming on here and spreading the good word about Kendra Scott.
Thank you so much for having me.
Community activist Deb Belfato is here to tell us about the latest happenings in the greater Newark community. Deb, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Lisa Marie.
You were recently honored with the Ronnie Goldberg Award for outstanding contributions to women at NJPAC. Tell us all about what that award was and how special it was to receive it.
Wow, it really was quite a humbling experience, to say the least. Having chatted with Ronnie early on, because I really wanted to know who this individual was that had made such an impact on women at NJPAC and far beyond. So when the news was shared with me that I would be the recipient, I'm like, who is Ronnie? Why an award named after her? And after the conversation I had with this dynamic, beautiful individual, I'm like, this is really something. She and we're 2 very like-minded women who are doing however we can to impact society and just really improve social conditions. And she, like me, was such a believer in the Renaissance of Newark. And she got on board very early on as one of the founding members of women at NJPAC. And my gosh, did she make her mark. I always loved hosting a table, and I would thoughtfully put together what the right group was that year, trying to tailor it to who the speaker was. And then I would observe every year, and I would be always so struck and impressed by that person. And then it kind of turned out to be me, and I thought, well, yikes, this is really remarkable. And I love what I do. I love the work that I get to do every day. And I know I was born to live out my purpose. You make a promise, you keep a promise. And in all of the different initiatives that I've had the opportunity to be a part of, or be the catalyst that got it started, it serves a purpose. And very often in life, your biggest challenges bring you to your greater purpose.
Well, I think a big reason why you got this award is because of the amazing, groundbreaking event that you spearheaded called Let's Talk Women's Health and Wellness. It happened last October. It's happening again this October. So tell us all about it.
Oh, I guess it was February 2021. How could I forget? I was diagnosed with breast cancer for a second time. And when I say a second time, it was 35 years later from my first diagnosis. And let me be clear that this was not a reoccurrence. This was a brand new, as I refer to it, my WTF number 2 breast cancer that I never would have imagined. But again, it has served a greater purpose. And that diagnosis came as quite a blow to myself and, of course, to my family. And it's hard to even describe what an extraordinary family I have, and friends, and support system, and resources. So that sounds like a winning formula, and it is a winning formula. The first time I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 1988, I had access to resources. Number 2, I had access to even more resources. And both times, even though it was 35 years ago, it immediately struck me that far too many women and families did not have the resources that I have and my family has. And I just felt this is unacceptable. Health equity matters so much more every day. I think we're finally paying a lot of attention, not enough, but we're making progress. And I thought, if I can be an agent of change, an instrument of change, gain the respect of the people that are committed to getting the work done, this could be quite unbelievable. So we gave birth to Let's Talk. And yes, it was my brain burst, but look at me. I have, the ability to round up wonderful talent, exceptional talent. And we built this event literally from nothing. We had no brand. We had nothing. We just had great minds, great like-minded minds that were so about, let's gather as many women as we can and get them rebooted after a very long pandemic pause of them honestly being negligent of their health, not through their choice, but just because the world had shut down. So the timing is everything, and the timing was perfect. It was perfect. We created a glorious day of information, education, built on 8 pillars of wellness. You were a part of it. You made such a contribution, and through the process, I'm like, oh, wow, this is a lot. But then when it was all coming together, I'm like, it is a lot, but boy, is it worth it.
And here we come again this October. But from that day, my favorite moment was being backstage with you right before the show started. Do you remember that? Seeing the packed house, and it was showtime and the lights were about to go on. And I just remember looking at each other being like, wow, this is actually happening. It was one of the most surreal feelings. I'm so happy to have been part of it with you, and so looking forward to October for sure. Deb, it's always so wonderful to have you on the show and trying to keep up with you. So thank you and congratulations on all of your success. Thank you for watching another episode of Your New Jersey. I'm Lisa Marie Falbo. We'll see you back here next week.